What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? Primetime 156 is finally here. Easywork GG, the current reigning Xbox champion, up against SkunkyNut. Stepping foot, first time challenging for the belt after incredible performances over recent events. We have a short but stacked card here this evening for Primetime 156. 9 fights of pure virtual violence. Like I said, capped off with that Xbox Championship bout, but we have some familiar names in the co-main and every single step of the way down that. K1B up against Muay Thai Jesus in the co-main event, and then of course, like I said, just very familiar names that are absolutely guaranteed under that Primetime guarantee to show up and show off here this evening. We're not going to waste too much time. We are going to get into the first one, which, as you can see on your screens there, is between BK Deadpool, up against SB Fortify. Without further ado, let's get to it. J motherfucking Dime, John Africa, or just John, since he's retired the Africa now. How are you doing, Les?
I'm gonna let John go. You feel me? Since he's dropped to Africa, we're gonna let John go first.
Oh, I'm doing good, it feels good just being John for once. I've come in with the glasses, John Africa was Superman, I'm Clark Kent forever now, so I'm looking forward to just being in the booth and commentating some great fights tonight.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, the first one, I expect to live up to all the hype here, Jay. I've got Rachmanov up against Bilal. I didn't see who was picking who, actually. Fortify is using Rachmanov over here. I just think Rachmanov's a more interesting fighter anyway, kind of in real life, but I think that he's got more tools on this game. If you're using Bilal, you've really got to grapple, and I'll be interested to see if that's kind of part of the plan from Deadpool. I think we've just seen him mainly strike in the past.
Yeah, I like that shot you just sent, that subtle shot at Bilal when you said Shavkat's more interesting. You don't like Bilal much, Cyrus? What's the problem here?
One of the most ironic names that you'll ever have. Remember the name, but hey, I digress. Okay. Flying knee. I mean, you ain't ever seeing that from Bilal, I tell you that.
Dang, he don't got that. So are you saying he got a small pallet? He don't have that in the tool bag? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying, amongst many other things, but I think that we'll have to maybe leave that for another time as these guys try to put in some work. SB45 is the guy that actually engages in the grappling early, maybe trying to fight fire with fire out here, John. Getting that early takedown and trying to get some work now going with some ground and pound, although good defense from Bilal.
I like the move on the takedown from Rachmanov. I mean, whenever you're Bilal, you kind of saw that Deadpool was coming out, trying to pressure, keep it in boxing range, wrestle him, tire him out. And so to counter with a takedown, and then you see here he's kind of posturing in full guard, maintaining position. It's kind of an attempt to break the spirit of Deadpool. Keep him on his back, let him know you're not going to come in here and grapple me, and set the tone that he's going to be the more dominant guy here.
Exactly. And I love when someone shoots for a takedown on a wrestler first, because you set the tone, you set the pace, because Deadpool wanted to put him on his back, but now he's on his back, and it's not that easy to grapple when you're on your back. And now you're losing the round because you're just defending yourself on the back, Cyrus.
Yeah, 100%. Look, people, we always say it in these fights, when somebody's kind of committed to the takedown, grapple the grappler, really take them out of their element, make them stop shooting for the takedown. Didn't look like Fortify wanted to run that risk here this evening. He was more than happy to engage in the grappling and show him that he's, kind of more than happy to engage in wherever the fight actually ends up taking place. Bilal Muhammad does get a good reversal. That's nice for Deadpool. See if he's able to get any good work in the closing 1 minute. Actually decides to separate there, John, and now he's going to have to get really active with those hands.
Yeah, I mean, Rachmanov is up in the round off of about 2 minutes of control. To be honest, I'd like to see Fortify. I mean, that SB camp is, known for, being really great counter-strikers. They had Naz training them for a while. But I'd really like to see Rachmanov take a bigger step on the front foot. He's got a power and speed advantage, and he's kind of letting Deadpool get in the space as he lands a beautiful flying knee, J-Dime.
Yeah, I agree. He should be more on the front foot. Oh, why did you throw that? With Shavkat, and now you see Bilal's more hurt than you are. You see the med kit bag right here. Going to the second round, I'd press more on the front foot. I'm not saying rush it, but you dictate the pace on the feet.
Absolutely. Other than interesting first round for my money, Rachmanov's got that a couple of big moments in terms of the striking, and of course got more top control, I do believe, at least when it hit the mat. Bilal's got obviously a little bit of an uphill battle, but I imagine that Deadpool not giving up anytime soon. I mean, he's been doing okay so far. He's on a +1 right now, 3-2 overall. He's kind of on the outer edge of the top 20. He's ranked number 18th currently. Obviously he's going to want to hold on to that spot with the whole new ranking system here at Primetime MMA, separating it into pro and amateur. That top 20 position may be a little bit difficult to keep, and he could be fighting for his position in the pro league right now.
Nice, and I'm not going to lie.
This could be bad for him.
I love the pull on the guillotine. But nice to stay on top by Deadpool. You know, and he really needs to stay here and do work. Even if you just got to lay on him, you got to get a round back. Especially here, he's not getting cut. So he needs to stay here, minimize the damage, not rush like he did a little bit there.
Yeah, that's the thing. He shouldn't have rushed. He had a lot of time to work. And if you're on top, at that point, you could just, what I call minute win. You can win this round like that. Him rushing transitions, now he's back on bottom, and now he's going to regret this, Cyrus.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as he gives up that easy transition right there. He's not going to be able to work his way back to his feet without a fight. Fortify able to keep him grounded for at least this moment. Not able to take his back, though, which is maybe somewhat confident building for Deadpool, but yeah, he's kind of under attack from all angles right now, John. He's not able to get out of this position, which is not promising for him.
Yeah, and I mean, these denials are just lovely from Fortify. He had a Darce there a couple of times, but was trying to throw him off, go for the back sitting, go for the back flat. But right now, I mean, he's just dominating the grappling, which has to be disheartening for Bilal, who's pretty much focused on being a wrestler as he takes top mount.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was focused on being a wrestler. Now he's focused on being a jiu-jitsu guy. Now he's on his back. That's the problem here. He's a good wrestler if he's on top. He's not. How do I say it? Shavkat is dictating the pace of this fight. Once he let him get back on top, that's where he gave up the round, Cyrus.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's just said it a moment ago. You know, Bilal is not exactly known for his bottom game. Top control is where he wants to be. So if he's starting to lose it, it gets swept or reversed when he's on top. I mean, man, that's kind of that's bad news for him, man. He may try to wrestle his way back to the feet, but Rachmanov has equal chops on the mat, especially when he's in the hand of Fortify, who is so far so good in terms of transition denials, has been absolutely pitching a shutout almost, only giving away some of the minor ones. Has a bit of a stamina advantage approaching the end of the second round, and of course, only one more round to go, so it's not going to play too much of a factor unless Fortify is really able to capitalize on that, like he kind of is
Big
now.
elbows.
His elbows. Yeah. It was nice, John, it was.
Yeah, and the problem going into this third round doesn't just exist in the fact that he needs a finish and he's down 2-0. It also exists in the fact that he has to keep it on the feet because he clearly cannot win on the ground. And at a stamina disadvantage and the power disadvantage he was at the beginning of the fight with Shavkat, it's going to be a big problem for him, Jadine, to have to walk into the fire and get damage off.
Yeah, and I agree. And also, I think for Shavkat, these counters are going to open up. And when you're on the ground, these subs are going to open up because there's a sense of urgency from Bilal. He's losing. He has to go fast, whether he's on the feet or on the ground. You know his heart got to be racing right now, John.
Yeah, and I mean, look, he's pulling out the slip hooks, but now Fortify's style that we were criticizing earlier of him just staying on the back foot is going to work for him because now Deadpool has to chase him. And I mean, he's getting done up, stopped to the body. I mean, this is just wonderful work from Fortify Cyrus.
Absolutely. So defensively aware as well, man. He's able to land like one little clean body shot, and he seems to block the vast majority of the strikes coming back his way. Obviously, a couple of them sneaking around with Bilal trying to throw a little bit more volume in this round at least, and obviously, understandably so, because he's very likely down 2, at least by art. Oh my goodness, and another flying knee. SB Fortify seems to be on his way to styling a victory. He can't sell it in the last 3 minutes 30. It's his fight to lose by my judging scorecards so far. Goodness, man. Like I said, on the other side, Deadpool's fighting for his position very likely. On the pro side of the bracket, he doesn't want to get pushed back to the amateurs.
Man.
And he may do with bodywork from hell right
man.
there.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, and this puts Bilal at a worse position here because he already had a sense of urgency. Now in his head, I was going to say he's rushing to his feet. I would have kept him here, John.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that fight. I respect the aura maxing, but but yeah, that was complete ego there. He can, but it doesn't matter because he might get a highlight finish here. 2 more shots down he goes.
Oh, okay.
Into an armbar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's styling on him, Jay.
Yeah, this is what you call he's playing with his food here. He's enjoying his food. He's savoring his food before he eats it, Cyrus.
Absolutely, man. I want to point out as well, man. We complain a lot about people throwing out like random flying knees from time to time. This guy has thrown 3, landed 3. He's timing everything perfectly, from the grappling exchanges to the striking. Does give up position right there, and now 1 minute 30 in the bag with almost no stamina. Deadpool has to say Hail Mary and dig deep, try to find a way to get the finish in the closing seconds.
And the problem there, Cyrus, is like you said earlier, you got a little bit of flack for it, but you're not going to see any flying knees or wheel kicks out of Bilal Muhammad. And so he hears me. And so, yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have the weapons to press and find an early finish.
Yeah, that bodywork right now absolutely brutalizing him. Going back to it, the uppercuts, and then up top, he doesn't know what's coming, Jay.
Yeah, and John said it right. He doesn't have the weapons, bro, because he should have went and got a gun. He does not have the weapons to finish this fight, John.
Yeah, I mean, finally gets caught throwing a flying knee there, but I mean, what a dominant performance.
Oh my God.
He block counters, finishes with 1 second to go.
Let's go. With 1 second left. He looked at time. He said, hold on, I'm not going to decision. He realized that real quick, John.
Yeah, no. And I mean, toying with the quit out. Wonderful performance from Fortify. Just dominated early in the grappling, and like we said, he put him in a position where Bilal had to walk into the fire, and a little too hot for him late there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, an entertaining way to start off the first fight, even though it was but mostly just him getting styled on after that first round, to be honest with you. It was a little bit competitive, but it got less and less competitive as time went on. Great job from Fortify, advancing in the rankings, getting a nice little pick there over a guy that was higher ranked than him. Of course, a bit on the bad side for Deadpool. I don't know where he's going to find himself after this one. Either he's going to be ranked 20, or he may have found himself back on the amateur side after that performance here this evening. But I'm sure we'll see him battle back onto this card, onto the live cards sooner rather than later. For right now, we advance to the second fight of tonight's card, and it's going to be between 2 guys that have actually been around the scene for some time. We're going to be having Kieran Crow up against Fia Michi on the Xbox side of the equation. Like I said, these guys have been putting in work, especially Kieran Crow. He's had a couple of title opportunities in the past, got some really solid skills all round. And I have to say, Fia Michi really been putting the work in himself, a little bit newer to the league than Kieran, but has had some incredible performances, especially recently, and looks to continue that here this evening against one of the bigger names he's come across. 13 and 14 as well. Just point that out. They're ranked 13 and 14 in the division.
Ooh. So I gotta okay. I hope this is a good fight, Cyrus. Only because last week I was criticizing the matchmaking in the early cards because it was a bunch of they weren't competitive earlier. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be a real competitive fight, and I'd actually be interested to see a Prime Robert Whitaker versus GSP in real life, John.
Yeah, no, that'd be an interesting fight, and I think the game plan would remain similar to what it would be in real life for both guys. For Kieran, he's got to keep this on the feet, work the legs of St. Pierre, hurt the body, and for GSP, he's got to push with his jabs, work the kicks, keep the range, and get a takedown, as he does right there.
Perfect game planning right there. It's like he listened to your coaching, John.
Hey, what can I say? I call for wheel kicks from Bilal, he throws them. I call for flying knees from Shavkat, he throws them. I call for a takedown, he gets them. I'm retired as a fighter, but maybe I got a future as a cornerman.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But sometimes, John, I watch some people fight and they have a corner. I'm wondering, what the fuck are they telling them? Because some people give you genuine bad advice and they listen to it.
On the other side, I was going to say, on the other side of things, though, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So it may not be their corner, bro.
Man, they wasn't. No, they were not leading the horse to water. They were leading the horse off a cliff. That's the problem sometimes.
I've been on both sides of that. I mean, WR. I mean, especially in the early days of the camp, we spent a lot of time being in the corners of all of our guys, and there are some guys like Vuk who's just going to do whatever he's going to do, and he'll wind up winning anyway. And then you've got the more cerebral types like Versus Style, who are going to follow a game plan and try and push the pace the way that it's plotted out for them. Which is what St. Pierre is doing here for the most part. He's just gotta press a little harder for the takedown, in my opinion, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure, and he did try right there. Funnily enough, Fiamicci, I was thinking as we've approached the 2-minute mark, over the first 3 minutes, he's kind of come out here with a bit of a, fire lit under him. He's really trying to set pace. Robert Whittaker's matching him every step of the way, but he's been pressing this fight every step of the way. Fiamicci normally a little bit slower to start, but not this evening, Jay. I wonder if that's maybe something he saw in Kieran's game plan in the past, or if he's just trying to build his own confidence by trying to get an early lead.
Fiamicci remembers what happened his last fight, and you're putting people at risk here of not being a pro anymore and going to the amateur ranks. He's probably thinking about that. He's thinking about, I'm not going to be on a live card if I lose. So that sense of urgency is there for him, John.
Yeah, no, and I mean, calling it amateur ranks is something else. I mean, there was no shame in being like, oh, I'm just on unaired. I'll be here for a couple fights. But no, I'm not a pro anymore. I'm an amateur. Yeah. I'm an amateur. That would kill me, dude. So yeah, I push a damn pace too. But I love the tenacity. I love the defense from Kieran Crow, but I love the tenacity from Fiamicci here. Because this is what you have to do if you're gonna wrestle. Don't give up on wrestling when you get defended a couple times. Keep pushing the pace, Jadon.
Exactly. And that's the problem. Some people get discouraged, like, dang, this one takedown didn't work. Let me stop shooting. No, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. Just keep doing it. It's going to work eventually. Like, people get too deterred off one-stop takedown, Cyrus.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not wrong, bro. See, coming into the second round now, I like the pace that Fia's putting on. I just feel like he needs a little bit more success from it, to really kind of get the tides turning in his favor. Kieran's done a good job of mitigating a decent amount of it, at least up until the opening combination right there. And there it is. He always seems to find a way to weather the storm and come back into a bout.
Takedown.
He needed that, man. The problem is, Jay, the problem is that if he's not careful, he will get reversed. And Kieran has shown in the past he has some incredible top game when he gets there. Fiamicci obviously also has some great grappling. It's just a case about trying to maintain position. Don't take as many risks when you're up against somebody like Kieran. Never mind, they're going to get separated.
Man, he needed this. He needed that takedown. Whether he was going to hold him down or not, it's like calling a timeout in basketball when someone's hot. You kind of need that just to slow your opponent down, John.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, that cut is going to help him out that he just opened up on Kieran. But I liked what Mitchie was doing earlier. You saw that opening combination he lands. He's landing whenever he's going one shot, back away, one shot. But when he's staying in the pocket and throwing combos, George St. Pierre cannot hang with Robert Whittaker as he gets caught with a combo that ends to the body there, Cyrez.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing I don't like from Fia right now, to be honest with you, is some of the body kicks he's throwing. Some of those roundhouses are a little bit lackluster, kind of hitting air, and it leaves him open to big combinations. If Kieran Crow is able to recognize and capitalize on that, he's going to get a lot of success. However, that's going to be really hard to do, Jay, if he's flat on his back with another takedown success from Fiamicci.
There we go. There we go. This is what he needed right here. This can change the fight. This can turn the tide if he does enough damage from top mount and dominate these positions, John.
Yeah, and he's got to focus denials here. The arm triangle is real interesting. He's going to have to get some nice fakes if he wants to get this. And he just gets raced, but Whittaker loses it. Oh, that could change the tide there, Jadon.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needed because it was looking bad on the feet, Cyrus.
Yeah, it was. Fiamicci, like I said, man, he's a bit of a dog out there. He will dig deep. He will find a way into a bout. He's actually the higher ranked of the two guys in this bout. He's ranked number 13 currently. And you can see why. The tenacity of this gentleman right here to kind of go at a fight. Even though he was higher ranked, I suppose the history of Kieran Crow is maybe a little bit more varied, a little bit more seasoned. So he knew that the rank wasn't everything in this one, John, and it was really about fighting his way into it and showing that now is his time. He deserves to be up there in that top 15.
Yeah, and I mean, win or lose, he's clearly proven that. And I love what he's doing here because you see the pace that he's seeing and the frustration J-Dime is getting to Kieran. So you just saw him engage in the grappling and get reversed. It's because he's losing the grappling and it's pissing him off. And so he's trying to go back to it, and ultimately he's winding up playing into Mitchie's game. And the drop early was big, but for my money, Cyrus, that's a George St. Pierre round.
I completely agree. I'd be interested to see the statistics right now. I think that the first might have actually been his as well, but I could be wrong on that. I think this is another case of maybe Whittaker potentially needing a finish. We'll have to see. Obviously, the judges may disagree, but especially with that quick start from Mitchie. I mean, this is the first round he hasn't started as quick, and I think that that's maybe even a smart plan because he's trying to force Kieran Crow to overextend a little bit. But Kieran, getting that clinch, getting that little hip toss.
Look at this.
And he finds himself on top right now.
Oh, yeah. I like this. This ego grappling right here. I love this. He said, you want to grapple me? He said, I'm going to grapple you back. John, this is nothing but ego right here, and it got him messed up again.
I'm telling you, if I'm Mitchie, I'm not even defending these takedowns because of how comfortable I am on my back. I mean, he is winning every position, whether he's on top or on bottom. Even though Kieran's gotten out of the submission there, this is an advantageous position for Mitchie as long as he can avoid the top mount.
Half guard sitting quite nice denial. Kieran Crow has shown one of the more dangerous top mounts in the game, at least in past performances. Is able to get it there, and as you said, John, that's not a good spot for him. We'll have to see how much he's able to defend. Does a good job on the first flurry, but like I said, his denials in top mount are terrifying.
I mean, this is big trouble.
Yeah. Oh.
It's kind of crazy, Jay. Do you know how many times he's done this, been behind in a fight, got top mount, and then just absolutely, blasted his opponents? Good job from Mitchie to get out of it right there, but that's happened a few times for him.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, Kieran Crow, even if he wins, I still don't agree with him ego grappling him because he got grappled, John.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, ultimately, sometimes you can do the wrong thing and it can pay off for you.
You can make it
but
right.
what's really making it pay off is Mitchie is just rushing these submissions and these attacks. He should be, keeping it slow, focusing denials, and getting reversals like he was early in the round. But now, even if he gets back to his feet, he's at a disadvantage in the round. He's getting denied. His stamina's low, and he's going to be at a striking disadvantage if Kieran tries to get up. And I don't know, that first round was awful close. So it might come down to that if we go the distance here, boys.
Man, this is a massive amount of consecutive mistakes from Mitchie when he was looking so good before that, and he was doing so many right things, Jay. Oh man, it's kind of painful actually. He's kind of dogged himself in this one. He might be in full panic mode right now. What is going on with this? Don't do it to us.
No. The thing is, he's in full panic mode, and that's been messing him up. And now his stamina's gone, like John said. He's probably about to lose this round and lose this fight. He's probably about to throw that controller right now, John. It's at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this big neon belly position, great defense. But, this is what you were talking about, Cyrus. You said that while Mitchie was the higher ranked guy, that Kieran is more seasoned. This is veteran stuff. He didn't panic after that second round, Whittaker. He just came out, continued with his game plan, got on top, and has really just put a stamp on it to end this round. And that may end the fight for him. It's a close first round, boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mitchie got it.
Wait. Oh.
I don't know, man. I do think he got the first two. By mine. I think he got the first two. But
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I know Kieran Crow was hurt about that one.
He actually landed 6. It's kind of impressive.
I just know. I know. Listen, I know he's heard about that. Because if I'm him, I'm thinking 2-1. I'm thinking, but at the same time, right? Don't leave the fight in the hands of the judges. But
absolutely.
I'm thinking 2-1 if I'm Kieran Crow.
But that's the thing, though. I think that even if you're on the other side, Mitchie was thinking the same thing. I think that first round was close.
Either way, they'd be complaining. Somebody would be complaining about losing a close fight. Either way.
100%. And look, ultimately, when it comes down to it, if you had watched footage on Kieran Crow, you'd know that he does this in the third round. or the final round. He always finds a way, whether he, no matter how much the odds are stacked against him, to really, really step it up in that third round. And it's a lot of the time it's done with that full mount. It's done with his grappling. He did the same here this evening, but it still wasn't enough to get the finish. So either way, a fun fight, John. I think this was quite a contested one, quite clearly with the judges' decision right there. But both guys going to go back to the drawing board. Fiumicci advancing in those rankings here this evening.
Yep. And if I could say one last thing on that fight, J-Dime proves your point, man, because he had him at low stam. We don't know how that fight ends if he stands up about halfway through the round when GSP is about 10% stamina and tries to put him away. So, a lesson learned.
Absolutely. That's nice second fight to get into this card. We still have another 7 fights of, like I said, non-stop virtual violence to continue. We got Jiggly J up against Annoying. What a name. Just Annoying. I don't know which division these guys are in, actually. Lightweight. I think they're going to be... looks like we have PlayStation. Two guys newer on the PlayStation side, by all means. His actual PSN is Annoying. That is crazy. Like, how long ago did he get that thing?
Is that I or L? Hold on, Jesse. Is that I or L at the end? Because I don't think he has that name with I. I'm so serious. I don't think he has that.
It's two eyes, I think. Annoying. But either way, I appreciate.
Yeah, I know. And I knew, because you know how hard it is to get a gamer tag like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. I was surprised. I was surprised. Do have to say though, the quality on the stream from this guy is quite nice so far.
No, and I love the names. These guys are taken after Mr. SkunkyNut 300. By knowing that the better your name, the better your chances of getting bigger fights earlier. I mean, I remember I gave a guy an aired fight in GFC just because his name was Sexy Beast. He had no wins, no nothing, but I love the name, so I like to see it.
That's a great name, and I agree with you. You know how I always say, if you got a bad name, I think you suck, right? Like, it's the same thing with a good name. It's like, it pops out, shines out. Now you want to see the person fight when they got a cool name. Now you're enamored with what you're about to watch, Cyrus.
I think it goes the other way as well, man. I think that these guys, when they thought out a good name, it just shows that they're a real gamer. They thought it out. They didn't just pick some random thing. They're not making frivolous decisions. And as a result, that translates a little bit better to their playing style. On to this bout, though, I will say a big start from Smooth Killer. His name is in the game. Oh, my bad. But
that's Jiggly J.
Yeah, Jiggly J. He came up with some big flying knees, trying to set up some combinations right now. But Conor McGregor quite poised, quite measured in his approach, and some excellent footwork getting out of range of some of those knees so far.
I wonder if T Ferg's going to mix in some clinches to close some distance. Is he going to use the grappling, John?
Yeah, I mean, he should. I mean, the way he came out with a flying knee and huge combo, it did not seem like it, but he's going for a clinch there. I mean, the thing with Conor in this game, I mean, his stand-up is just so vicious. We've seen guys like JUFC use him to such great effect. You know, you want to mix in the grappling or, work some body shots, some clinches to try and get him, a little bit down before you go into the fire, so to speak, Cyrez.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, nice little elbow.
Nice elbow.
Yeah, hits on the inside. I don't know, this is a fun matchup. There's just so many tools that Tony has, and he does hit really, really hard. But from like a purely athletic standpoint, Conor McGregor just has more. He does hit harder. He's faster, and that footwork goes with it as well. But it's just about using the tools at your disposal, and whether or not Tony Ferguson's awkwardness is going to wear you down. It's actually surprising though, Jay, to see Tony on his back foot so much.
It's because Conor's controlling this. Wow, didn't he? He's controlling the distance and the range so beautifully, and Tony don't know how to get in right now, John.
Yeah, that was a huge left hand. And I mean, slowly as this fight is going on, you saw Tony Ferguson come out very confident, and you've seen that kind of, drift away a little bit. You see him reacting, slipping 2 times before he begins to strike, front kicks from out of range. I really like the way Annoying is fighting right now, and getting this kind of phantom pressure, because Annoying's really not even throwing that much. He's just staying on him. Oh, beautiful head kick from Ferguson at the end. But yeah, he's just staying on him, and it's forcing Ferguson to make mistakes that he needs to make less of going into the second round, Jay.
Yeah, and I wonder what adjustments Tony's going to make. Like, I wish we could have an air on the corner sometimes. Like, this is real life sometimes. I'd be wanting to hear what the advice is, Cyrus.
Yeah, we're going to have to get that set up at least for some of the main card fights in future. Oh my.
Yeah, because I want to hear his coaches right now.
Annoying, not wasting any time getting those hands going. Grappling is definitely the way for Fug right now. I mean, it's just like you have such an advantage if it hits the mat, even if you're not maybe massively confident in that area. Why not take it there? Conor McGregor's so freaking good on the feet, and he's got a big stamina advantage right now. It's just, I mean, such an uphill battle, man. T-Fug has to get creative with it, John. Whether it be the takedowns or something else.
Oh, beautiful high kick. Yeah, that's force of nature kicking in right there.
Why did he?
Oh, but he gets run back, and down he goes.
Oh my, and he's taunting him.
Oh, and he's pulling out the taunt.
Oh my gosh. The thing is, I figured out who's in Tony's corner too. I figured out. Oh my goodness. It may work. He got David Goggins in his corner saying, Tony, be you. He's yelling, be you, and he got a stun off of that, John.
Yeah, I mean, he's at some point with the wrestling, I mean, it just becomes too late. He's just getting up here, down he goes, taunt.
Oh, it may be too late to use the wrestling because, like, oh my, why hasn't he used it though? Like, I'm really confused. Why are you not using your weapons? That's the closest thing we've seen to wrestling, Cyrus.
It was. Oh my goodness, he threw a combo, missed, tried to slip, and Conor went to the body. Flying knee actually lands. I mean, he's just trying to throw as much shit as he can and seeing what sticks, but unfortunately, that's not the approach against such a tactician and sniper like Annoying, aka Conor McGregor, in this bout.
Yeah, now it's so late in this fight as he gets slip hooked. Oh my goodness. And he's trying to make a statement here.
Oh my. No.
No.
Okay. Tony's on his deathbed right now, but Tony's been here before. Unfortunately, he's been there a lot of times.
No, and I mean, putting him in the clinch here, just roughing him up. I mean, granted, he's playing with his food, but I mean, with a stamina advantage and health advantage like this, it's going to take a miracle, which is what Smooth Killer needs right now, Cyrus.
Oh my, he needs more than a miracle. He needs a coffin right there. Jesus, man, that was brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Right hook, left hook lands underneath it. Beautiful work, man. That's a nice little performance from him. Annoying, getting the job done here this evening in a bit of a stylish fashion as well. Didn't really look like he had too much, too much opposition in this bout. He beat the higher ranked guy, ranked number 14, v ranked number 13 again in this one, but on the PlayStation side. He's going to be advancing up. He's actually undefeated at the moment. Both of these guys were. But Annoying now 3-0.
Jeez. Man, that was a brilliant performance. And for Tony Ferguson, by the time he tried to wrestle, it was too late. He was already bloody, on his deathbed with no stamina by the time he tried to wrestle. He should have started wrestling early. He should have set the pace. When he threw that flying knee, he should have continued to set that pace, but it was too late by the time he wanted to wrestle, John.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show, I mean, stick to your game plan. If something doesn't work, you know, the stuff that in PT will get you to the top 10, top 15 is adjustments. And you have to be able to make adjustments in there. And when one thing doesn't work, go to another, Cyrus. And again, you know, a loss taken and a lesson learned. Hopefully he comes back and, you know, can work his way back up and, you know, show a little bit more growth in that area.
Yeah, I mean, this new system isn't just kicking you out if you lose one fight. He was 2-0, now finds himself 2-1. There are no losses. There's only lessons. It depends on how he takes it. So we'll have to see how he bounces back from there. I will say, though, J-Dime, that this has moved us on to the featured fight of the prelims here this evening, burning through the fights at record pace. Call Me Swag stepping into the cage as rank number 11, taking on the debut fighter of this season at least, the former double champion, the one and only SB Naz.
Oh, this is a good fight right here because the last time we seen Nas, he got upset by Jody BJJ in the Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time we seen him. And I think Swag has been a little more active. And for some reason, a lot of times when people fight Nas, they get caught up with the fact that they're fighting Nas, John.
Yeah, I mean, we fought him a couple times. My team, Maxi went out there and fought him. Vuck was, or not Maxi, but Vuck was able to go and beat him, and then we were able to get Strictly to beat him. Part of beating Naz is just forget the fact he's a YouTuber. Don't give him his picks. The Connors, the O'Malleys, who he has here. Press him, and don't fall into his game too much. But it is a mental, thing to overcome, and that's going to be Call Me Swag's biggest obstacle here tonight, in my opinion, Cyrus.
I completely agree, and I will say that Call Me Swag obviously done his due diligence, didn't come out here trying to touch the glove of Naz, because he may drop that glove and head kick you into another dimension. So he's definitely thinking about this and taking it seriously, understands the mind tricks that Naz sometimes employs in his bouts. I think that the point that you made about trying to take away some of his favorite picks, especially under the rule set of Primetime MMA, would have been a very smart move, but obviously he wanted to fight him at his best form here this evening, Jay, and as a result we get a nice interesting matchup between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Sandhagen. I think this is a really fun one no matter which way you chop it.
Yeah, I want to see this matchup next in real life too. I'd love to see this, and when it comes to putting your glove out, I can't get mad if someone fake glove touch me. It's my fault for putting my glove out at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. That's why I never do it, John.
Defend yourself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I got to. If I touch somebody's glove, you'll rag on me.
Yeah,
but it's a little different here, especially against Naz, who will use any move to win a fight. I like what Swag is doing here, though. He's pressing behind his jab. He knows that Naz likes the slips. He's going to the body. And he needs to continue to do this. I'd love to see him mix in a little bit of grappling, but he can't do this, Cyrus. He cannot go on the back foot against a shredder like Naz.
No, you're exactly right. Like Naz does a really, has a really interesting approach of kind of meshing the forward pressure and the counter striking together so well. He's happy playing back, both off the front foot and the back foot. Weirdly enough, Sandhagen right now doing a better job in terms of maintaining that stamina. He's intelligently attacking the body. Other than that one right there, Jay, as I said it, he threw a double knee and then gets lit up with a combination. Have to be a little bit smarter than that if you're going to get the damage off, at least in a sustained way.
Yeah, but I like the pace that he's fighting at, though. I like what Swag doing as long as he keeps going forward. Nice.
Ooh, nice slip hook. I know, and I like Swag's defense as well. He's noting that Naz is coming in with the jab and the hook. Because, I mean, kind of what Naz likes to do is that whole first round, he'll sit on the back foot, and he'll let you throw straight shots, do a lot of slipping, do a lot of defense, and then he'll start to turn it up. And if he rocks you, I mean, it can be GG's real quick. But Swag is doing a really good job outside of that combination there, Jay, of staying disciplined and putting volume on him, and we got a close first round here.
Yeah, and I like those teeps because I feel like those teeps gonna add up when it comes to the stamina in that second round. Like, I love what Swag is doing. I almost turned off my camera by accident. I almost clicked something. But yeah, I love what Swag's doing, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, he's fighting the right fight right now in this matchup. We'll have to see what adjustments are made. Wow, I was not expecting the significant strikes to be so different. I thought that was pretty equal in terms of SIGs. I just knew that Sandhagen kind of slightly outlanded, but kind of crazy. The bigger shots come in the way of Naz right there, and he may have won the round as a result of that. You know that they really do love those significant strikes, especially with not too much else going on, just mainly a striking affair. I'd have to see which way the judges saw that, but very, very confident building for Call Me Swag as he comes into the second round with full stamina, John. Means he can start to turn up the pace and hopefully keep himself nicely ahead if he's able to do that relatively safely.
Yeah, and something that he's doing that's really wonderful. I'd love to see him pick up the pace a little bit more, but he's not over pressuring, you know? I'd like to see a little more phantom pressure, like stay in Naz's face, draw out a counter. But he's doing what I like to see a lot of guys do whenever they fight guys that are great counter strikers, which is make them reverse the roles. You know, Jay, if you're fighting a counter striker, you want to make him chase you. But Naz chases him down and lands a beautiful combo there.
I agree 100%. If someone likes fighting on their back foot, you make them have to fight on their front foot. You make them have to play how they don't want to play, Cyrus.
No, exactly right. Look, a big stun. And this is the thing. Oh my goodness! That timing.
Yep, timing it. Yeah, and this is where momentum shift. This is what you don't want, John.
Yeah, and I mean, the pressure here, you know, staying calm in the early going is one thing. Staying calm when you're put under adversity is an entirely different one. And Naz is certainly no slouch in the grappling. And you want to talk ego fighting. I don't know anyone that ego fights more than SB Naz. So I think for Swag, you know, he's lost this round. He can try and get a reversal here, but he should slow it down. Even with the 6 strikes, I thought he won that first round. But he's got to change the momentum, slow the fight down, and not let Naz get in the groove of beating him up, so to speak, Cyrus.
No, exactly right, man. Exactly right. And that might be easier said than done with 2 minutes on the clock, potentially 2 in the hole right now, if he's not able to get something back in a big way this one. But obviously some massive moments this round from Naz, and he gets the top mount as well, Jay. See if he's able to get the ground and pound opportunities going as he gets a beautiful denial.
Yeesh. Man, this is tough for Corey, but Swag cannot panic here. That's the worst thing you could do in these situations, John.
And I love the defense on the armbar. That's wonderful. He's out of that. And he's done a relatively good job. At this point, a minute 8, you've been dropped twice. You know, there's no chance he's going to win this round. Just stay on top, reset. And I'd love to see him, you know, get on the front foot a little bit more. I mean, we were talking about the phantom pressure, and I think that's what he needs. You know, he let Naz come forward and did reverse the roles, but he's just standing there and reacting, and he needs to be a bit more offensive.
Exactly right. You need to be, you know, a little bit more active than reactive in this position right now. You are absolutely right. Talk a little bit more of a kind of laid back approach in this one. Want to see what was coming his way, and then Naz does what he does best, man. Like, as good as he is counter fighting, he does his best work when he's on the front foot, when he's the one that's leading the dance. And he's put himself 2 ahead in a pretty big way. Call me Swag, although he's done this many times in the past, J-Dime. He needs to find a finish. And he is a finisher, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially as Naz is not a guy that typically likes to go to decision. You know he's going to try and turn it up even more in this round. I think Call Me Swag has to capitalize on that and find a way to get that elusive finish, to get some real damage off at this point.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, that was the best thing to happen to Naz when he landed a head kick, because he's the type of fighter, you know, he starts on the back foot in the first round. Once you get that momentum, it's tough. Because, like, once you stun somebody one time, once you drop them, it seems like everything you hit them with puts them down, John. It's like you can't miss.
Yeah, and I mean, Swag is doing the right thing as he gets caught there. But I mean, something that Swag is doing, I mean, Naz is kind of taunting on him a little bit. You know, something that Swag is doing wrong, I think, is he's just pressing behind a double jab and he's not putting anything behind it. It was really, really effective in that first round. But as you get into these later rounds, you need to mix it up more, Cyrez. And with a guy like Corey Sandhagen that has so many kicks, you know, so much in the grappling, I'd like to see him mix up his attack a little bit more, because engaging in the boxing is a recipe for a knockout loss against Naz UFC.
I completely agree. Yeah, be a little bit more varied in that approach. Try to find an opening, some of the more fundamentally sound combinations. He's seen it all before. Doesn't seem to be connecting at a particularly high percentage, at least so far, though a little bit more success in the last 30 seconds or so, Jay. That double jab is definitely the only tool he's had to close distance so far. And I feel like against somebody like Naz, he's going to continue to pick up on that, try to set up that big counter, which he's found once or twice already over the course of the last 15 minutes of the fight, 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, so the thing is, about Corey Sandhagen and Swag is he started good, but he hasn't really changed anything as a problem. He has to vary his attacks. There hasn't been no variety, no takedowns, John. Like, he's kind of just been this.
Yeah, I mean, engaging in the boxing where you have so big a power disadvantage, it's a recipe for disaster. And I mean, trying to get into pool parties with Naz where you're countering back and forth, yeah, it's just not an effective way to fight someone like O'Malley. And this is why I'm talking about, whenever you're fighting Naz, don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let him have a pick like O'Malley. Go out there and make him fight as someone that he's uncomfortable with. Because having fun fights and trying to fight a guy at his best is one thing, but winning titles is another. And I think Call Me Swag, just has made some errors in the setup, and just like we said, hasn't adjusted as the fight has gone on. Cyrez.
That's exactly right. Oh wow, uppercut lands from bad to worse. Oh, he gets clipped.
Oh.
Call Me Swag.
What will Corey do? What will? Oh, okay. Oof.
He's got to go foot to the gas right now.
He has to go.
Oh no!
And again, he sits him down 1 second.
1 second knockout. Second time today we seen this.
Beautiful, man.
That killed me, man. That killed me.
Well, he gets the job done, makes himself 1-0. Pretty dominant, in all fairness. Call Me Swag had some moments, but the overwhelming majority of that work come in the way of SB Naz as he finds himself now on the pro side of the bracket, getting a nice win, and doing so in a very visible spot as the featured fight of tonight's prelims. With that being said, though, we now move beautifully onwards to the main card. We've had, 4 fights in? Yeah, 4 fights so far. We have 5 left to go on this evening's card. The only change to tonight's card is coming up in the next bout. We're going to be having what remains of Strictly Business up against a short notice replacement and potentially the toughest fight he's had so far, J-Dime, as aka Dave, former double champion, stepping back in.
Okay, here's the thing. Dave once was the double champ, but as of late, I didn't see Dave take losses to the likes of Tainted Ember or Dasiki and people like that. And I know Dave is looking to get back to the title pictures, and I will never pronounce his name correctly ever. I'm going to purposely always say Dasiki. But yeah, I know Dave is looking back to getting back on top.
Yeah, I love this statement. He says, "Tainted Ember, Dasiki, my brother. That is the same person."
No, I know.
He is a
I know.
Tainted Ember.
No, I know. That's why I said both. That's his gamer tag and his. Yeah, I said both.
Yeah, no, and Dave, I mean, to that effect, I mean, Dave is a savage and always has been. I mean, he's coming off 2 losses to Daisuke and Maxi, but he's still that guy. I mean, he's made some statements as to not being as committed as he has been in previous fights. And if he wants to fight someone like my teammate Strictly Business, he's gonna have to show a little bit more commitment if he wants to win this fight. I mean, Strictly has his pick, Joaquin Buckley post-update, who is nasty. And, I don't know, Cyrus, what do you think needs to happen here for Dave to get back on track?
He just needs to remember who he is, realistically, to be quite honest with you. That's what he needs to do. I feel like the big difference back in the day is when he was go 5 and lose 5 is he just get to a point where, his confidence would be knocked a little bit in a bout, and he'd kind of start downpedaling as a result. He needs to remember that he was the double champion. He has all of the skills to beat everybody that's put in front of him. Whether or not he can do that, whether or not he can find his groove again, of course, is another story, especially against somebody like what remains of Strictly Business, because this guy has shown that he may be a bit of the giant killer. He finds a way to win fights that a lot of people would not have kind of given him credit to do so in, Jay. He does really find the ability to get those upset battles. And look at that, that stuff nice. Head kick, beautiful work by him.
Yeah, Orange just loves his Joaquin Buckley pick too. Joaquin is his guy, and I think Orange is someone that on any given day, like you said, it's almost like a giant slayer. He can take down the best names. We done seen him beat Nas. We done seen him beat the best, John.
Yeah, and I mean, he's one of the guys, like, to speak a little bit to his training, since we are in the same camp, he's one of the guys, him, Maxi, or myself, all constantly in spars. And I mean, him and Maxie have got to have like 300 fights among the two of them. And I mean, the guy's a real student, but when you look at fights like these, where you're fighting a big name, so to speak, like Naz or AKA Dave, something that, if there's any way that a championship can be a detriment, Cyrez, it's that it adds a little extra motivation to every guy that you fight. So for Dave, while this may just be a weekend fight where it's like, oh, I just want to get in there and perform, for a guy like Strictly Business, he's thinking, man, this is AKA Dave. I'm going to go out there and train my ass off and come and put a show on and make a statement against a big name. As he gets caught with an uppercut there.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying so, man. He had some beautiful moments. That stutter step head kick was great, but then Dave, once again, that head kick may have woken him up. It reminded him of who he is, and that's not the guy that's taking damage. It's the one that's giving damage. I actually like the till pitch from him as well out here, Jay. I feel like for Dave, that's a pick he can really use well if he utilizes the range a little bit more effectively. Right now, he's getting pressed heavily by Strictly, and my goodness, he's actually mixing it up with a nice little single leg takedown.
Yeah, that was beautiful, because Dave got caught on his back foot around that cage, and Orange just took advantage of that, John.
Yeah, no, and I love the takedown here. I mean, AKA is so well known for their defensive grappling. I mean, those guys will, if you put them in a position that's not full mount, they will just work denials and wait for a stand-up. I mean, they do it probably better than anyone else in the game. But a great first round by both guys. Don't know which way to score that one, but a good start for Strictly. And I'm glad to see Dave get back in there and turn it into a bit of a war, J-Don, which I think is personally what he needs to do more of.
Yeah, and I love fights like this. And I have to give the matchmaking credit today compared to last week. They did a great job, Cyrus.
Bro, the matchmaking does it itself. Like I'm telling you.
Right. Not last week.
That
was intentional what I watched.
Brother. I'm telling you, it's record on form. It's record on form every step of the way. I ain't taking this shit. Not today, brother. Not today.
Beautiful takedown there. And honestly, J-Dom, I got to jump off that and say, I'll criticize the matchmaking too, because no one should be putting me in there against Daisuke, man.
you said that was a mismatch, John?
Oh yeah, most definitely. But yeah, besides the point, jumping off that immediately. I love the takedown from Strictly Business. Again, I mean, these are just little moments that can win him a fight. You were talking, J-Dime, earlier about minute winning. And I think Cyrez, as they get the stand up there, slowing the fight down, not letting Dave get his groove back after a tough first round, is key to getting a victory here.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? This is one of those fights where I feel like, obviously, there's a lot more footage out there on Dave. Strictly Business is a gamer. He has a lot of good guys that he trains around at fights. He's an active guy in the community, and quite honestly, he's willing to take a bit of a gamble on himself. He will take the occasional risk to land some of these big damaging shots. He was smart to mix in the grappling a little bit earlier on, so now it sets up a little bit more of his striking. But I feel like, although a lot of people would have been put off by some of the things that Strictly has done so far, Jay, Dave is not one of those guys, and he doesn't seem to be wilting to the pressure, at least at this point in the fight.
Yeah, and you talk about that Orange trains with a lot of great people. There's one in the booth right now that trains with him right here, John. He can tell you a lot more about Oranges than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented guy, and he's a real strategist. He's one of those guys that he's a thinking man's fighter. You know, you've got guys on our team like, Max and Verse that are kind of, they're brutalists. They like to get in there and push the pace and fight the same way every time. But guys like Strictly and Maxie are really, really smart. They listen to game plans. They don't make a whole lot of mistakes, but they're both very, very flashy. And I think something that speaks to both Dave and Strictly's talent that's not talked about as much is both guys' activity. I mean, they're in there every week trying to fight the best guys. And you talk about Dave not being deterred, Cyrez. It's because he's seen all this before. He's fought almost everyone on the roster, it feels like. And when he gets a drop there, it's aiding him late in this fight because he doesn't panic.
Yeah, and honestly, Dave, you're right, he doesn't panic. Dave doesn't panic. But he also he's one of those guys that when he feels like his opponent's injured, he has the ability to take it to that next level. He may already be at 100, but he somehow finds a way to surpass that and take it to that next level of damage. He really does have a knack for finding finishes. Strictly Business, especially after a little bit of a momentum shift towards the end of that round, has to now find a way to stifle that onslaught that Dave's going to continue, because the confidence is going to be beaming.
Uppercut.
He feels like he's turning the entire fight.
Man, the thing is, what always helps Dave is he was built through adversity. When he used to get his wins back in the day, it was Dave got dropped. He has to come back in the fire. How did Dave make that comeback? Fights like that prepare you for the adversity. He was built through that, Cyrus.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Sorry, I got cut off. I thought there was about to be some big moments there as these guys kind of car crashed into the center of the cage. Both guys a little bit uncharacteristically just willing to play rock'em sock'em robots right now. Oh my goodness. It's so dangerous. I actually don't know which fighter it favors. Not the people playing it, but like in terms of like the fighter picks. But the slips and the rips looking beautiful thus far, John.
Yeah, and something Dave is doing really good that Strictly needs to recognize as he throws those double hooks is that Dave is waiting on the block counter. A lot of AKA guys are really good with that, and I think he's standing in the pocket and kind of throwing the same combos, and Dave is just willing to sit in there and wait for a counter, J-Dime. And I think what Strictly needs to do is get back to what he was doing early, which is mix it up, throw some kicks to the body, because this boxing favors Darren Till.
Yeah, it does. And the thing is, sometimes you just need that moment. And there's the moment. There's the moment. What will he do with that moment, John?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you should have shot for a takedown.
Yeah.
If he gets a rock, he should take Dave down, because at these moments, this is where we've always planned against AKA guys, is if you hurt them late, because of how inactive they are on the ground, because they wait for stand-ups, you got to shoot whenever you hurt them. And I think that was a tactical error by Strictly, but man, this is anybody's fight, Cyrez, with 2.5 minutes to go.
Yes, sir. Whoever can put a stamp on it right now, it's going to be the separating factor. Oh, and there it is. The slip and the rip left hook lands.
And he taunts him. Oh,
that's it. That's it, bro.
Yeah. No, it's not it, because he...
Oh, and he's got him reacting. That's nasty.
Oh. Will he regret playing with his food? Will he regret this?
Oh, wow. Wow. This is beautiful work from the body, but he's got to be careful. Those uppercut returns are there for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a big counter for him to catch Dave off guard, because Dave is in his bag right now. You know, we saw what he did against during his title reign, where he would just drop guys over and over and taunt them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he almost has nothing left.
The liver shot!
Oh, he almost has nothing. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. He may have one left.
Shot.
Oh, my God.
If he wasn't
Strictly is so hurt right now.
Rest in peace to Joaquin Buckley.
Bro, Darren Till back at it, man. AKA Dave getting the job done. I actually thought that Strictly Business was going to pull it back at the end. Then he blocked, started going for those uppercuts. If he wasn't out of stamina, he may have landed and got a big connection. It's not like Dave's head health wasn't in a terrible position towards the end of that bout, but Dave remembered who he was, dug deep, and got the finish in a big way. Yeah, goodness. I mean, Jay, at this point for Dave, you know, obviously a bit of adversity to start out this season after what was the best season of his entire run here at Primetime MMA last time out. He's doing a bit of work now to find his way back in, battling through that adversity as he did in the early days. This time, of course, got a bit of a head start because he's already reached that mountain, the peak of the mountain, the pinnacle, and he knows that he's capable of getting back there. So, just trying to find that mojo, and I think that this was a right step in that direction here this evening. Yeah,
Dave won in the most Dave way. Like, of course, there got to be some type of adversity, you know, at the end. You know, there got to be some type of suspense, but that was a good performance. And Orange just didn't fight bad. He made some minor mistakes, which cost him, especially the one you're talking about, John. When he heard him, he should have shot for a takedown. But Orange's will be back. He's a really good fighter, John.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I mean, stuff like that, I mean, fighting champions, that's all what Remains is interested in doing. So hope to see him back in the spars soon and, you know, working on shoring up some holes. But a great performance by Dave, man. He's a former double champ for a reason. So an excellent performance by him. And that'll certainly, a big top 10 win puts him in the space for some good fights going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, another fun fight in the history books. We have another one scheduled to go down right here, right now. We have Striking with a Q up against Ken Muir. Should be an incredibly fun fight. Both guys are known for going to war in the octagon. Never a boring fight between these when these guys are mentioned there, Jay. And I don't think that's going to start here this evening. Striking, if he goes Alexander, I'd be very surprised, man. He always gets and he does. That work is always done on the feet. And giving up that Conor McGregor pick, that could be troublesome.
Man, yeah, that's a tough matchup because if I'm Alex, I gotta use my footwork, gotta mix in them calf kicks, mix in the wrestling, because it's tough going against Conor if it's just a striking match, John.
Yeah, I mean, Striking, you know, I've actually seen Striking use the Conor pick more than Ken Muir, but I really like the pick, and I mean, we've seen it multiple times tonight. Guys that are at a striking disadvantage, choosing to fight with their egos and not grappling, and then we've seen guys that are grapplers not use their grappling and start striking. So, I mean, I think a lot of the deal here. Sorry, the screen shake is throwing me off, but
yeah, like why do you have this on?
Yeah, a lot of the plan here as he goes down here is he should have shot for a takedown already, Cyrez.
No, he really should have. And he does. Gets it. Obviously, a bit of damage coming his way early on. I just find Conor McGregor's so problematic, especially in the opening couple of minutes. If you don't secure something like a takedown or a clinch and get him up against that cage, attack him a little bit in terms of the cardio department, you are literally ice skating uphill. Wasn't able to hold him down for very long there, Jay, and this is just where Conor McGregor starts to go to work now. He's got you pressed against the cage. Those hands let fly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those hands are smacking his block right now, and we was talking about him shooting a takedown earlier. Sometimes you just need to get punched for you to wake up. But obviously it didn't work, John. He's still not learning. Oh, now he is. He just got to keep getting punched enough, John, and maybe he'll start shooting.
Yeah, well, if for every punch he shoots a takedown, he'd need about 98 more attempts. So,
yeah,
you know, he's got to be tenacious with it. I mean, he's failing on takedowns and not going for him again. And,
oh my!
I mean, Jesus, the screen shake is really illustrating the power of Conor McGregor because he's whooping his ass right now.
Belt to ass. That's what's happening right now. And
oh my goodness!
Oh my God! He killed him. He just killed the man.
The docking
oh
right
my
now.
gosh, man. Get the paramedics. The thing is, the screen shake made Conor punches even harder. Like goodness gracious.
There's some brutalities right there.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't give up. I mean, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. The striking that we've seen from Striking in the past would lead you to think that he was maybe the better striker coming into this bout. But give Ken Muir, Conor McGregor, and he's going to box that head off any which way it comes. And then the little disrespectful wobble afterwards as well. I mean in business here this evening. Well,
yeah, I mean, he's in the chat saying that that's as easy as that gets. So, man, I mean, he's putting himself in a position for some good fights. And let that be a message to all 69 people watching here that are competitors. Never let this man get a Conor McGregor ever. Yeah,
that was crazy. No, that wasn't even competitive. Like, he just beat the dog shit out of him. Like, that was bad.
Nah, 100%, man. 100%. Oh, fuck. Well, it moved us on very quickly. We've only got 3 fights left here this evening. We have JUFC, who's currently 4-1 in the division, ranked number 4, going up against SVG. Is that, yeah, Oat Head Kicks? I think that's how you're going to say his name. That's how I'm going to say his name. Or just Oat for now. SVG Oat Head Kicks is on a 3-1 plus 3 fights. So he lost his very first fight and has won 3 on the bounce. going to be his biggest challenge. He is fighting very much up the rankings. He finds himself ranked number 10 right now, going up against ranked number 4 after putting himself on the biggest win streak in the division outside of those in the co-main event. This is a big opportunity. Jay may have lost 1 or 2 fights in between, or 1 fight specifically, but he only lost to the champion. And John, the simple fact is that he came back, bounced back, got a nice win, and he showcased that he really does have some skills that are to be revered in this cage. You have to be very careful when you're standing across from him, especially in the opening going. So a big opportunity for Oat to really show who he is and what he's made of here this evening.
Yeah, I don't know what the picks are here, but for Oat, I hope he has a grappler, because you look it up and there you go with the Hamzat pick. Because Jay, I mean, the Scotsman is nasty. Yeah. You know, he's the Scottish Highlander in there. He walks you down and beats you up from second 1. His boxing is unbelievable. He has one of the best McGregors I've seen in a long time. And I mean, to be honest, he looked incredible against CV. I mean, Jay, you were there for that fight. I don't remember, Cyrus, if you commentated that one, but you know, Jay really pressed him with the boxing and was having some big moments going into round 4, but CV had Islam Makhachev, and the takedowns were what sealed it for him. And in my opinion, Jay, that's what Oat Head Kicks needs to secure a win here.
Yeah, play to your strengths. And the thing is, I can't forgive, back to the matchmakers, I can't forgive what they did last week. Who did y'all give Jay last week? Because that wasn't a fight. Who? Like, no disrespect to who he fought, but who was that?
He was fighting poor Danoa. He was fighting poor BK Danoa.
What I want you to do, brother, is I need you to go into the Discord. Do it after the event. Go into the Discord. Click on the announcements, and you'll see their rankings. You'll see their form. You'll see their current record. And you pick who would have been better, my man. We'll get Jay's doing the matchmaking next week, right? And we're gonna look.
Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that. But the thing is, I don't know who did the matchmaking. When I see that fight, and John's with me, that was not a competitive fight in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, just because the fight was... Are you saying that you never see guys get absolutely blown up?
No, absolutely.
Doesn't mean they didn't deserve the opportunity. It just means they weren't ready.
I'm saying somebody lied on their resume about their credentials. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, look. Either way, JUFC finds himself on bottom this early in the round. Just under 3 minutes to go, but a quick reversal, not looking good for Chimaev, and Jay easily able to reverse the position. I will take this opportunity as they kind of stale out in half guard to give a shout out to King Jon Snow. We appreciate you, my man. The continued support, much appreciated. Absolute legend, OG in the community. But there you go. Back and forth. What is going on? These guys are not able to deny a fucking thing right now, and it is causing me all sorts of confusion. I don't know what's happening, John.
For the love of God, deny a transition. And for Jay, I don't know why you're not standing up as Anderson Silva. It's something crazy. Maybe it's the Scottish heart. He wants to beat the man at his own game, but and he gets a full mount. But I mean, to be honest, I think he's fighting right now in an area that he's at a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's like, because it's an ego thing. You know how people be thinking, I'm going to beat you at what you're good at. In my head, I'm thinking, no, I'm going to play to my strengths and beat you what I'm good at. I'm not going to your game. I want to play my game. But, John, people want to show they're better than you at what you're good at.
Yeah, and I mean, Jay doing exactly that right now, just playing wonderfully. But the problem is he's playing into his game, and right now it's not biting him. He's up in the round, but as you get late, if you let these wrestling exchanges keep happening, especially with someone like Hamzat who can submit you and ground and pound you out, it can become a problem, Cyrez.
No, it really can. Chimaev's a terrifying grappler, and we all saw what he did to Bobby Knuckles in the hands. I was going to say, that's some good defense. You got a lot of it ate up on the block, but didn't take any direct head health damage for the most part. Although the takedown was, very successful for him, he got a lot more top control. I always think that those significant strikes make the difference. So just being down on the significant strike, Jake, I don't know which way that goes. Could be either way, but the SIGs may be the difference in it.
Yeah, it usually is if it's a close round. And it's so crazy because on the ground, they did a good job mitigating damage, but they did not deny a thing though, John.
Yeah, no, and I think what makes the difference there is you look at the total strikes, because significant strikes, the reason you may believe that that's what determines it is because damage determines it, and significant
Mm-hmm.
strikes do the most damage. And I felt like Jay was, especially with that one little sequence with knees in the clinch, I felt like he had the damage there, and he has the damage here, Jay.
Yeah, he does, and he's making that J name proud. Shout out to
Oh!
JUFC. Oof. Not. Oh. Good takedown defense, because I was about to say he got. Oh, never mind. I was about to say he got too carried away, letting
double.
Sam get too low. Yeah.
And we might see a lot of this here. I mean, the full guard, maintaining this is fine, but in my opinion, I think Oat Head Kicks needs to kind of get going and advance position, try and do some damage early here, because he's down to start the round.
Yeah, damage is gonna. Oh my goodness, these half guard sweeps, bro. Like, I don't even know. Was there ping a little high coming into this one? Like, I don't think it was either, was it? I'll find out.
Man.
It's crazy.
Man, we've seen more half guard sweeps in this fight than we have the last 2 weeks.
You ain't wrong. Like,
No.
I don't know, man. I just feel like they're easy to stop, so I don't know how it's happening. that's kind of crazy. Okay, looking at it, I've just pulled up the VOD, if you will. They're sitting at about 177 stable, so it is on the higher end. Is definitely on the higher end. Could be the connection that's causing it. Who knows? We're about to see which way this one goes, though, of course. As he mounts him, now's the time to cause that damage. Going to be a little harder to get those denials, though. If he's giving up half guard denials, full mount denials, going to be a little bit more difficult to get.
Interesting fight, to say the least, John.
Yeah, no, I mean, watching some of these transitions, I think of Islam Makhachev's quote, who give him black belt? We need to check this.
Yeah.
Who gives him Shemaev black belt? No, and I mean, I wonder what's going through Jay's mind, thinking that he wants to grapple here. I mean, you've seen some of these transitions that he's throwing out have honestly cost him a lot of stamina. He might be up 2 rounds going into the third if this next minute goes his way on the feet, but I mean, I'm very, very surprised, Cyrez, at the game plan. Interesting to say the least. You're correct, Jay.
Yeah, I think obviously it's a lot of it's due to SBG's kind of commitment to the grappling. But even at this point, if I'm him, I'm not liking the way the grappling's going, and I want to strike as well. I mean, kind of let it fly, to be quite honest with you. The denials are just not happening for everybody. Their connection clearly was on the higher end of things a little bit, and it's playing a factor into their ability to get any fucking denials going at all. So get that timing on the feet and try to see who's going to get ahead, because Jay is slowly, for my money, walking away with this one. That game plan is not working. You've got to turn it around, Jay.
Here's the thing. It could be the ping, why the grappling is going how it is, but what do you do here if you're Khamzat Chimaev? What do you do here if you're Oak, John?
You get denials.
Oh, there it is!
Oh, hey, no, he gets head kicked. Yeah. Oh my. Hey, all this is avoidable, John. Tell people that's avoidable. Oh my goodness.
You don't got to go out there and touch gloves, man. I mean, I love the respect, but we're here to win. So I mean, especially if you're Chimaev, you might be down 2 rounds. You don't have time to touch gloves.
Yeah.
You need to get after him.
That, and if you think about JUFC reputation, a lot of people hate him, right? Why do you think he would show you mercy? Like, there's a lot of people just hate him. So, like, out of all people, you just think, oh, he wouldn't try this, Cyrus.
Yeah,
that's what.
He's a changed man. He ain't gonna head kick. Like, this guy literally used to train with Naz. He knows what's up. He knows the little mind games that go into this one. Show them a bit of respect, have a friendly, competitive fight for the first round or 2, then blast them with that fake love head kick in the 3rd round, man. Get yourself ahead on those scorecards. If I ain't ahead, I'm gonna be ahead after this one. And he blasts it, and he gets it. Now, for the love of God, separate so that we can watch some actual striking, because these denials are painful, or the lack of them. Can actually... Oh, he gets one! He gets
denial.
one! Yeah.
See, he heard you. He heard you talking trash. Say something again. He going to deny another transition.
Yeah, that's great. It took 13 minutes, but we've got precisely one denial the entire fight.
Like he's adjusting to that high altitude, my man. That's what it is.
No, I like it, but you know, for Jay, I mean, just keep it up here. I mean, he's doing wonderful, and I actually I don't mind. I'm like you, Jay. I don't mind the mind games. I mean, I would do it a different way. Where if I was up 2 rounds going into a 3-round fight. At the beginning of the 3rd round, I'd always bow to see if my opponent would bow because it gives me extra time. You know, we don't end up, it takes you out of your game a little bit. And I think everything Jay has done, from the ill-advised grappling to the reversals to the striking to fake glove touches, all of it has just thrown Oat head kicks off of his game and led to a really nice performance so far from Jay.
Yeah, and I just know for a fact that Oak is upset right now. I know for a fact he's fuming right now, and it's going to make him fight even worse for the entirety of this fight, Cyrus.
You're not wrong, man. Look, as much as we've been hating on the fact that Jay's grappling, he's so far ahead right now, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. He's just got to not get finished. Although I do feel like getting back up, he'll find the finish himself. But I don't know. It's obviously part of the game plan tonight. I don't know what it's about. But he's happy to stay here.
It's not the Scotsman way, man. It's not the Scotsman's way to lay on top of another guy.
You know,
He's got to stand up and go for a knockout.
That's not a bad Scottish accent. Fair play to you, mate. That was pretty spot on.
Been working on it. No, but a nice performance. I think that's pretty clear. 2-1 Jay, if not 3-0.
Yeah. Only the second decision of this evening goes JUFC. I believe it was 3-0. Doesn't really matter. He won the fight in either respect. Wonder if he'll show it real quick before we move on. Yeah, 30-27 across the board. A clean sweep for JUFC. Bouncing back, getting another win in his column. Big step up in competition for Oat here this evening.
I thought you said for Jay.
No. For Oat here this evening. Big step up in competition for him. Like I said, he was ranked number 10, fighting ranked number 4 after going on a 3-fight win streak. He had the opportunity to fight up and was not able to seize that here this evening. But of course, as you had mentioned a little bit earlier on, John, he can take lessons from this. He can go back to the drawing board and see where he comes out next time if he's able to bounce back from that adversity. But with that being said, we now have our co-main event scheduled up next. We have two teammates about to battle it out for primetime glory under the lights here this evening. It is going to be between K1 Fee, who has been an absolute menace to the scene, destroying every opponent that has been put in front of him, going up against a teammate, and I believe one of the either the leaders or kind of top guys in K1 at least, former champion of primetime MMA, K1 Muay Thai Jesus. Both of these guys rocking a very, very big win streak at the moment. K1 Fee on a 3-fight win streak. Muay Thai Jesus on a 4-fight win streak. I think there's potentially a title implication in line with this one, Jay. If either one of these guys win, they'll probably find themselves in a title spot in the near future.
Yeah, and I wanna let John talk about this. What can you say about K1 Fee's fighting style compared to Muay Thai Jesus?
I can say that of all of the guys in K1, because K1 is one of those camps very similar to NM in my opinion, in that all of them to a certain degree fight the same. You know, you see a lot of back steps, a lot of really good footwork, solid counters, head movement. Fee, in that sense, is a little bit more of an anomaly. He pushes a lot heavier on the block breaking. You know, he likes to stay in your face. I mean, I've fought both of these guys, and I mean, with Fee, I just think he's so clean, and when it comes to finishing, so brutal that you feel like you have to take him down. But as Muay Thai Jesus must know, I imagine the reason he didn't pick a grappler is he knows Fee's no joke on the ground either. I mean, the dude has wicked denials. You know, he looks for the finish. He's aggressive and smart. And I mean, I think he's been a real prodigy coming up here in the last couple of months, and it's nice to see that he gets to fight his teammate with possible title implications, Cyrez.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, ultimately, We try not to buck teammates, although sometimes people may disagree with that. We try not to buck teammates, but there are moments where it has to happen, and this is one of those moments. Both guys on very big win streaks, 5-1 v 4-1. Like you say, title implications on the line. Muay Thai Jesus, I think this guy banks himself. I do agree that Fee has been an up-and-coming threat. He's been a little bit of a prodigy in the making from the K1 camp, and he's doing really good work early on. But he is a little bit more unorthodox than the likes of somebody like Muay Thai Jesus, who I would say has one of the more aesthetically pleasing striking styles around, and really kind of keeps himself fundamentally sound. But the dangerous kind of opposition to that, Jay, is always going to be the guy that's unorthodox. Because if you're so good at drilling and sparring against fundamentally, technically sound people, when somebody comes out there and they have a different type of technique, when they're throwing unusual combinations at you, looking for different angles, that's when some of these guys will get caught.
The thing is, I feel like that won't be a factor in these two fights because they spar hundreds of rounds. Like, those two are very familiar with each other. So, if anything, we're going to get... it's not going to be that type of fight, John.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the unorthodox style can play a factor, because it all depends on how much... You can have a ton of rounds against a guy, but how many times have you fought as Tony Ferguson? How many times have you fought his Tony Ferguson with Dustin Poirier? I mean, we typically see Muay Thai with guys like Islam, or, you know, a grappler, or we'll see him with Tony. And I think right now we're seeing that, especially because Fee's a newer addition to the camp, Muay Thai's been there a long time, I think we're seeing right now that Fee has a really good beat on what Muay Thai likes to do. And it's going to be all in. Whenever Muay Thai makes adjustments, can he do the same and make adjustments of his own? Because he gets a rock there.
Yeah, right now, Fee willing to fight fire with fire, happy to exchange in the pocket. And just on the point of spars, like, I don't know how many times these guys have fought each other. I suppose that's the point. K1 is actually one of the larger camps around. They've got a lot of people in there. So not everybody spars with everybody, you know, realistically. These guys may have. I didn't see any records coming into this one. Wasn't really looking for it, quite honestly. But either way, I know personally, when I was fighting, that fighting guys that you regularly spar, it doesn't mean that you're a little bit more... It actually leads to better fights. It leads to less hesitation. It leads to less of a feeling out process, and you really get going. And normally what happens is, especially if they're quite closely contested, one guy gets an early lead and tries to snowball from there.
Oof! You see where he threw that overhand from, John?
Yeah, I mean, you know, from his grandmother's house.
Yeah.
I love the way that Fee is striking right now, because what he's doing, Muay Thai Jesus is a really good counter striker. And what that's led to is whenever he backsteps, I've fought Muay Thai twice and, you know, done a lot of footage on him. He's very weak to low kicks, and he's very weak to single strike high variance, which is just throwing a big strike and getting out of the way, which is what Fee needs to do more of, Cyrez. The more he throws one strike, moves out of the way, throws another, the better chances he'll have than if he gets in these combo wars with Muay Thai that he's kind of in right now.
Yeah, exactly right. That's a nice little takedown. Once again, it doesn't even matter if you get it. Just the fact that you're throwing it out there sets up the hands. And as you can see right there, 4 or 5 unanswered shots. You know, absolutely breaking that block down and bleeding through. Fee is out for blood here this evening. He's hungry for that title opportunity.
Okay.
Bro, Jay, right now, the thing that gives me a bit of pause concern is that even when Fee's head health is under half, he's more than happy to engage when Dustin's throwing his way.
Yeah.
And he gets success from it once again, but that can lead to a quick knockout, especially from Muay Thai, who's stacking up a bit of a stam advantage.
Yeah, but I love a stam advantage more than most, but you know what's better than stam advantage? If you have a damage advantage, he don't have one. And he doesn't have one because, like you said, he keeps sitting in the pocket even when his head health is low, John.
No, I was saying...
I mean, that might be...
Yeah, Cyrus, you're right, Cyrus.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was Muay Thai I was saying had the stamina advantage, but he made it work. He stayed in that pocket a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, Fee, I reckon he could have won that fight like 8, 9 times out of 10, just with like one minor adjustment. Once you got that big advantage, just dial it back a little bit. Don't exchange in the pocket, especially when you got hit first. If you get hit first, if you lose that initial kind of striking exchange, circle out and let yourself recover a little bit. Don't try to always fight fire with fire. It's a beautiful plan sometimes, but not every time. Not every single time, John, because it gets a little bit predictable.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever you're a veteran like Muay Thai Jesus and you're in there, pressing a young guy, I feel like he put Fee under a lot of pressure, and he caught a kid that was too comfortable, and wound up putting him away. I mean, I've been in the DMs of Doc trying to procure myself a title shot, but I think Muay Thai Jesus with a performance like that, he secures one for himself, and seeing him and Maxi next week potentially would be a phenomenal fight.
I'll put this out there. I didn't respond. It's been a busy old week, but if I did matchmaking and I booked those matchmaking off just call outs alone, you'd be in there, bro. I'll tell you that. I fucking love the call outs from the one and only John Africa. But
hey, no. John, no more Africa. It's John.
Just John.
It's just John, man. I'm a peaceful man now. I'm a peaceful man.
He put down the gloves. He picked up the mic. Either way, we have an incredible main event here this evening to get ourselves into. Without further ado, we're going to have a little bit of a look forward at it. Easywork GG up against SkunkyNut 300. Now, obviously, for one of the most iconic names in the game, SkunkyNut out here has already put or laid to waste most of the division on his way to this title opportunity. Easywork securing his belt last time out. He's now on a 3-fight win streak, 5-1 in the division, champion of the Xbox division, doing so in a very emphatic fashion. But he goes up there, Jay, against an undefeated prospect with, like I said, one of the more iconic names that you will see, SkunkyNut 300. And I get a little bit of the preview of what these guys are picking. It is in bantamweight. Obviously, you can see on your graphics right there. We're going to be having Puta Yan up against Sean O'Malley. But these guys, I thought that maybe they hadn't fought each other before. They have, and they fought each other a lot, Jay. They've 26 to 22 right now on their records. They got like 40, 50 fights between it. I don't know how that's happened, whether or not it's spars or what, but as we mentioned a moment ago, that leads to really interesting bouts when you know somebody intrinsically like that.
Yeah, and most likely they're probably been in ranked, but it's a little different here. I noticed like you'd see certain people in ranked, right? And they'll fight one way. When they fight in the bright lights, they have a totally different style, John.
Yeah, and I mean for SkunkyNut 300, Chief Keef's favorite fan, biggest fan. I think it's really interesting to look at a guy who's essentially 3-0 in comp overall. This guy has had 3 fights in competitive, and he's fighting for a world championship. Whereas Easywork, I mean, he's been around a long time as a contender and kind of a fringe guy. And now he's fighting for a title. So it'll be interesting to see that under the bright lights, for a guy whose experience is primarily in ranked, how do you respond whenever you need to show up at 4 p.m. Central Time and be at your absolute best? It can't just be on your time.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I will say, Jay, Easywork GG has done just that, made easy work of every one of his opponents on the run to that title and securing it. He made it look relatively easy when he secured that belt. And a lot of that is done purely from the striking domain. He does such good work from fundamentally, technically sound striking, sniping at his opponents at range. SkunkyNut either has to make this a boxing match or has to get a takedown if he's going to get some success in this fight, at least for my money.
Yeah. Today we're going to learn, did they push SkunkyNut too fast? Or just like Peyton Talbot last week, they may have gave him somebody too dangerous in the grappling too soon, just like how Darren Till, he fought for title too soon. Or is he that guy like Sean O'Malley? Oh wow. My god.
Big shot.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Tell you what, Easywork looks like Sean O'Malley right now with beautiful boxing combos, and he's just keeping it on SkunkyNut. He's really trying to push the pace early and show him who's the champion, and we got SkunkyNut on the back foot, Cyrez.
Absolutely, we do. Looking really, really good right now. Man, I mean, look, this is... Am I crazy? This is the only guy in the top 5 that doesn't have a loss.
Oh,
And he may be getting one right now. If he isn't careful, he's going to have to
man,
find a way to answer back from all of this early adversity. Easywork
man.
GG trying to live up to his name once again, John.
Yeah, I mean, and you get these questions asked when you push a guy to a title this early. Are you Steve Erceg and you're going to have a great performance, or are you Kaya Sakura and are you going to get knocked out or
Ooh,
choked out? And I mean, for SkunkyNut, I mean, it's just a problem of he's not been put in these positions where he has to face adversity. But man, I mean, Easywork Jay is throwing himself into the fire here.
yeah, he is, and he feeling himself right now. He's in his bag right now. And like you said, SkunkyNut has never faced this much adversity in his life. And the most adversity he's faced is in a title fight. Usually you want to face that adversity on the way up. This is his first time facing all of this, Cyrus.
Well, so that's the thing, right? And I don't want to take away. I like the narratives you guys have, but I don't want to take away from what Easywork GG is doing right now. Yes, he may not have fought Easywork a champion before, and he is getting his ass absolutely beat right now. But he was 3-0 coming into this, right? He was ranked number 4. Everybody else around him has fought for a belt or recently lost that belt. He didn't get gifted this opportunity. He took this opportunity. And we've seen it in the last fight with major adversity. He was able to find a way back into it and still was able to win. So I'm not going to quite count him out yet, especially with the Easywork now feeling himself. He has to be careful not to get overconfident and allow SkunkyNut a way back into this bout. It seems like an impossible thing. It seems like his back's up against the wall, but that's often when SkunkyNut has done his best work. Get to that boxing, try and get a takedown, and take away the tools of Easywork GG if you're in with a chance. Otherwise, the champion is going to run away with it.
He's like, oh, it's not over. That's the thing. But he has to land something significant to change the momentum because nothing's deterring Easywork from doing what he's doing right now, John. There we go.
Yeah, and I mean, a takedown there will deter him. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, Easywork, it can't take away from his performance. He's playing great right now, but he is putting himself into the fire, so to speak. And, when you're in the fire, you open yourself up to getting caught. And with a cut that bad, which is getting worse by the second, Cyrez, SkunkyNut could find himself back into this fight with a rock or two really, really, really quick.
Absolutely, he could, and like he's really changed up the tempo a little bit. He's keeping this a lot more in boxing range, but does get caught with that. Whew. Easywork just a little bit more dangerous at this point. Once again, still not over, Jay, but the writing is starting to go out on the wall.
Yeah, but like I said, that cut is looking bad. It's not over. You jump in that fire, you will get burned, and Petr Yan is trying to burn him right now, John.
Whew. And I mean, to be honest, I like. Skunky's desire to stay in the pocket. It's just he's preemptively going for these counters, and Easywork is reading him. But man, that cut is bad.
Yeah.
That is fight ending bad.
Yeah.
He keeps going to that right hand
now,
over and over again to target it as well, John. He just continually targets that cut. He knows it's his best option right now.
Oh man, and I mean, just these combos that Easywork is unloading against the cage is absolutely brutal, but I like what he's doing still, and then he's rocked to the body. Man, his back is up against the wall, literally and figuratively, J-Dime. This is a big, big moment here.
It is. And if you're Sean O'Malley, the next time you drop him, you have to jump. Because that cut is so bad that the ref may stop this in a match where you're dominating.
He's done it.
Yeah.
He goes!
And still, your Xbox champion, Easywork GG. Absolutely, his face beaten and bloody, but he made it look easy outside of that cut. I mean, the cut was the biggest route to success that SkunkyNut had. But let's be real, Easywork was not letting the doc get involved in this in any which way. Saw the opportunity for the finish and took it with both hands.
Levels. There's levels to this game, and Easywork gave him a welcome to primetime moment. You know how when you get into the NBA, usually they talk about who's the first person to bust your ass, who's the first person to do this. Easywork was the first one to humble him, give him that experience. And to be real, I think SkunkyNut's going to get better from this situation, John.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, I always, you see a couple of guys, like Daisuke claiming he's retired now. You see guys come up with a lot of talent, and then they start losing, and they decide they don't want to play anymore. But in reality, if a guy like SkunkyNut goes in there and starts working, gets with a team maybe, and starts rebuilding himself and getting more experience in these primetime fights, if if you're in a title shot 4 fights in, man, you're bound to be a champion at some point. It's just a matter of evolving and adapting to your environment. Difference is PrimeTime has the most predators out of any league, so he's going to have a lot of work to do.
You're not wrong, brother, and that's why the Primetime guarantee is always in effect. Incredible performances across the board, some really entertaining fights. We will not be back next week. UFC is on very, very early, so rather than it running alongside our show, we will be taking 1 week off. We'll be back the following week, of course, with all the Primetime action you have grown to expect and love over the years. Thank you to all of the guys competing, all of the guys watching at home, and of course everybody in the back putting this together. Obviously, big shout out to J Dime, John, just John now, joining us in the commentary booth. We'll be seeing him back, I'm sure, in the near future. If you're not already, make sure to be following J Dime, Roger Warhol, Swaggy Dr. Kush, all on Twitch. Most entertaining Twitch streamers you're gonna see. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You're fucking slacking if you're not already. But welcome to Primetime MMA if you're new around. Stick for the raid that we're about to push. Talking about Swaggy, we're going to be pushing that towards Swaggy in a moment, who is playing Marvel Rivals at the moment. Obviously one of the commentators and longtime supporters of Primetime MMA. Until the next one, much love, peace out, and we will see you soon.